trên team này.
Vâng,
cái đấy thì phải cài đặt.
Phải cài à? Chứ không phải là bật phát được ngay à? Em lại tưởng là nó là auto.
Ok chưa? Mình dịch đuổi thôi đúng không? Dịch đuổi thôi đúng không?
Phải dịch đuổi đi chị ạ.
Ok, chị giới thiệu qua để start nhé.
Em.
Okay, so shall we start the section with IA team? So I let me introduce to you Miss Kim Lee Huyền. Miss Huyền is our head of supervisory board of PP Bank, and Miss Huế, who is the head of internal audit of PP Bank. So I think Miss Huế, Miss Will be present today on the IA section. Thank you, chị.
Okay, so let's start. Thank you. Vâng, chắc là tôi cũng sẽ đi bám vào một số cái nội dung chính mà các anh chị đã gửi ạ. Thì trong đó cũng liên quan tới chủ yếu là về hoạt động kiểm toán nội bộ, kế hoạch kiểm toán nội bộ và quy mô cơ cấu tổ chức của kiểm toán nội bộ. Thì thực ra kiểm toán nội bộ của VPBank ấy thì sẽ trực thuộc ban kiểm soát. Và ban kiểm soát thì sẽ là do đại hội đồng cổ đông phê duyệt. Do đó là về chức năng chính và cái vai trò của kiểm toán nội bộ ấy, sẽ độc lập với hội đồng quản trị và ban điều hành và báo cáo trực tiếp lên ban kiểm soát. Do đó theo cái chức năng nhiệm vụ và quy chế tổ chức hoạt động của kiểm toán nội bộ ấy, sẽ bám sát vào luật tổ chức tín dụng. Thì bao gồm là sẽ bảo đảm rằng là kiểm tra đánh giá độc lập cái hệ thống kiểm soát nội bộ của VPBank. Thì ở đây tôi cũng có đưa ra một số cái điểm chi tiết đây để các anh chị cũng cập nhật thêm, nhưng thực ra vì là các anh chị cũng là những nhà bên cung cấp vốn từ lâu, chắc cũng đã nắm được. Thì từ lần trước đến nay thì cũng không thay đổi gì về cái yêu cầu của pháp luật. Tức là bạn dịch đuổi à? Okay.
Chị nghĩ nếu mà dịch đuổi thì Huy Huế nói trực tiếp
là mình mute cái mic ở đây, xong rồi ai dịch thì sẽ connect online của cái team ấy, thì cái người đấy người nói
mất thời gian
nói hai mic cùng một lúc đấy ạ. Có được không? Nói hai mic cùng một lúc không?
Nó sẽ echo đấy.
Không, thực ra nếu em nói thì các bạn sẽ nghe thấy mà. Nhưng mà nó rất
không, tức là bạn phải ngồi ra góc và bạn ấy nói hai mic cùng lúc, rồi bạn phải bật điện thoại, ví dụ như điện thoại bạn connect vào trong điện thoại này. Just figure out like the translation mechanism, because if you pick this device, the online people will not be able to hear the English version.
Em nói luôn.
Em nói luôn đi, em phi luôn đi, xong rồi lúc trao đổi thì mình hỗ trợ. Nếu mà chị nói tiếng Anh thì chị nói luôn ạ.
Thì chị nói tiếng Anh luôn nhá. Tất nhiên tiếng Anh chị thì chắc cũng không được chuẩn.
Okay.
Okay, so Q&A thì cũng được.
Okay, so good afternoon. So so I will based on the question that is sent to us. So sharing some of the basic information about the internal audit activities. So actually, internal audit is under supervisory of the supervisory board. So supervisory board it will be appointed by general meeting of shareholder. It means that we are independent from the activity of the BOD and BOM. So the key function of the internal audit is to provide the independent service, audit service to the BOD and BOM, and so we will give the independent opinion on the internal control system of the bank. And here in my slide in Vietnamese, but I also have some of the details function. For example, that one of the function is that we audit and assess, give the independent assess to the on the internal control system of the bank, including the procedure and also the regulation and other, to assess whether the internal control system of the bank is adequate or not. And also from the internal audit result, we will have a recommendation for the BOD and BOM to improve their internal control system. So it's a key function of the internal audit. And of course, we also have to follow on our recommendation to make sure that the BOD and BOM is remediate on the recommendation from the internal audit. So this is the key function of the internal audit, and of course we have here also summary of some of the key comment on the mission and on goals of the internal audit. So actually we based on that one, and of course one of the mission of the internal audit is to ensure that we give the independent service to the BOD and BOM in order to contribute to the development of the bank and ensure that the bank is comply with the law and regulation, and also they have the internal control system to minimize the of the operation of the bank, increase the efficiency of the operation of the bank as well. This is the mission of the internal audit. And the next I want to say on the goals of the internal audit in the year 2026 for the information is that we continue to improve our quality in order to give the quality service to the BOD and BOM. And one of this one, we need to improve our auditors for them to enhance their audit techniques, as well as the other some like they also need to get up and getting up with the development of the I mean the digitalize some of the because the bank now is on process of digitalize a lot of products and service, banking service. So internal audit it also need to be trained and to be updated with the risks as well as the control over the digitalized products. So one of the goals in 2026 is that to enhance our internal audit staff to they can perform the audit to the digitalized process as well as AI, because the bank also starting to apply AI in the process. So one of the goal is that, and the second one is that also need to enhance our internal auditors to equip with the data analytics, because the bank is also have the very big data in order to improve the efficiency of the internal audit. We need to improve our technique to use the tool to make the data analysis to support the internal audit more efficiency, and also to audit not just transaction by transaction, but also for the whole and more portfolios, and also more transaction. Of course, we also need to train our not just only in terms of the technical like this, but also the professional requirements for the internal audit. For example, like they need to understand global internal audit standards. So we also send our staff to train with, like, for example, like CIA and other professional qualification to support them, to equip them with the knowledge and also international practice for the internal audit standards. And of course, we also need to cooperate with the second line and first line of defense closely to improve the efficiency of internal audit, because they are also the we are the third line defense, but we need to cooperate with them in order to improve the efficiency of the internal audit activities. This is the role of the internal audit operation for the next year. And of course, we also need to plan with the internal audit plan, because we need to set up the annual audit plan. So the goal in order to make sure that internal audit plan is to cover on the key risks and also material activity of the bank. So we need to make sure that the internal audit plan is to cover on the material and high risk error, because one of the requirements from the circular 13 is that we need to have a risk-based audit approach, and to ensure the comprehensive audit plan So we need to make sure that we focus on the key risk and material error, and also the other, we need to make sure to meet the frequency of the audit, because under the regulation also require that if there are some activities that is not high risk and not material, but we need to audit them. So based on the regulation of from the supervisory board, we need to make sure that for the lower risk, we need to cover at least 5 years to audit. So this is one of the key goal for the annual audit plan. And the second one is that we need to make sure that we cover all the requirement from the law, and also for incoming, for some officer dispatch from the SBV, because they have some requirement for the internal audit. For example, that we need to perform audit anti-money laundering annually, and other as well. So we need to make sure that our audit plan to have such kind of the audit. And we need to prepare for the human resource in order to finish, to complete the internal audit plan, and also reserve the resource for some of the ad hoc requirements from supervisory board or BOD. So this is very short about the role and mission of the internal audit. So any question from this one before I come to the next slide?
How many auditors are there in the team?
I have for the approved head count, I have 75 people.
Mm-hmm.
And but of course we because of the sometimes we could not meet all the requirement for the resort, but we maintain average about 65 to 68 people.
Okay.
Yes. And yes.
Sorry, please.
And for the next year, we plan to increase some of the headcount in to have equipped with the new requirement, because of some of the new skill I just said before about the AI and also the digitalized.
And how many, let's say, digital or IT specialists are in the team today?
I have 6.
6.
Yeah, 6 IT specialists for the internal audit.
Okay.
And we have a 6. Although we have, I have 6 departments under the division, and one is for the in charge for the SME and RB segment, and one is for the corporate banking, and one is for the other like supporting and supporting division, to audit supporting division, supporting function of the bank. And the next one is also we have IT audit department, and we also have the internal audit policy and consolidation department. This department, it helped me to form with some of the policy and regulation, and also guidelines for the internal auditors, and also quality control for the internal audit.
Okay.
So we have 6.
And do you use external vendors for specialized IT audits?
No, we not yet have this, the external outsource for the internal audit service, but in case we assess that if internal auditor will not equip the enough skill, we need to consider for the outsource the outside, independent one, or outside to help us, for example, like audit of the modeling, for example. If I not have enough skill for this one, so we need to outsource for internal audit.
Yeah.
So you ask about only internal audit function, or you ask overall of the bank?
No, so also
for the outsource.
I was wondering, do you have an external vendor taking care of indeed the modeling audits, for example, or the cybersecurity?
Okay, no, for cybersecurity we have already have IT specialists who can cover about this one. But I just said that in case we need if in case our human resource could not equip with the skill needed for the internal audit, because one of the standard we need to comply that if I don't have enough skill for this one, we could not perform the audit. We need to outsource for this one, and this also allowed by law and also standard.
Yeah.
So,
So
but
what kind of audits do you reach out to an external party? Have you done that recently?
Not yet, because I considering about modeling.
Okay. Yeah. And how do you keep oversight on the modeling today?
Not as required by the law, but we for the internal management purpose. So maybe we need to look at this.
Okay.
Yeah. And modeling it also requires some specialist skills. But of course, we still recruiting some specialists in order to support the internal audit function.
Yeah.
But in case we could not recruit a specialist like this, so we need to outsource if needed. Okay, so any other questions before I move to the next?
And we will discuss the audit plan in a bit more detail, I suppose, right? Okay,
Yes.
very good.
Yes.
Does the audit also include looking at the ENS policy and procedures, environmental and social?
And yes, environment and so, because one of the especially for the credit activities, because we need to comply some of requirements from like IFC and other for the green. So we also included in our audit procedure to make sure that the unit it comply with the requirements. So for the annual audit plan for the year 2025, we have around 35 audit assignments. Yeah. And because the number of the audit assignment, it depends on the the whether it's a assignment is big or complex or not. And some year we have more than 40 assignment, and some year 35 or 36, but it ranges from 30 to 47 assignment. Yeah. The number is not reflect anything because it is depend on the scope and as well as complexity and also the big.
This includes the branches.
Yeah, so the next I will give you more information about the assignment and the auditees. So the auditees, when we assess the annual audit plan, we will divide it into some of the category in order to assess whether it's high risk or not. The first on unit, for example, you say the branches is units, and the second on its activity. For example, like we will also look at the activity, and we also look at the process. So three key dimension in order to, key auditees that we assess the risk is unit, activity, and process. And of course, after assessment of this one, we will combine to make the audit, the heat map. Based on the heat map, we will make the audit universal to select the subject to be audited. And this one, and we normally we have some of the like subject audit, unit audit, and compliance audit. For example, we like AML is also one of the compliance audit, and we also look at the products because actually product is also combined of the process and activity. For example, like a credit product or mobilization products or foreign exchange products, something like this. So we also look at the product and also the system. It means that like the IT system. So we also need to have some audited subject its system, because we need to assess the ITGC of the system to make sure that the general control of the IT it's good enough to comply to get the comfort because if we get the comfort from the control of the IT system, it means that we can rely on the general control of the system before we go to detail of the system to check the application control and other process.
Ngoài
So
kiểm
this one.
toán thì mình còn công tác rà soát.
This is for the audit, but of course, based on the requirement of the law and also the function of the BOS and internal audit. Besides the internal audit subject, we also have some of the not audit, but like the review and also monitoring. For example, like we need to monitor the financial monitoring of the banks. It's one of the requirements from the credit law. And also we monitoring of the for approving and also implementing the BOD decision, for example, and general meeting of shareholder decisions. So we need to monitoring to that they carry on based on the approving. Yeah, and a lot of Miss Huyền add some more others. We also monitoring and review of some of the transaction that under the approval authority of the general meeting of shareholder and the BOD. This is requirement by law. I give some of the example for you to have some of the key information only, but this is we need to cover of this one requirement by law and also the risk assessment. And for the next point that you about the cooperation between the BOD, BOM, and internal audit and BOS. So of course we based on the regulation, they have some of the guidelines to build up the cooperation. But of course for the internal audit BOS, we need to cooperate with the BOD and BOM, not just only during the internal audit, but also when we setting up the internal audit plan. The law also requires that the internal audit plan need to communicate with the BOD and CEO. Of course, they not make the decision about this, but we need to send them in order to get their comment if any. But normally they not really have some comment, because before we build up the internal audit plan, we already discussed some of their concern, whether for the next year audit plan, which areas that they need to pay attention to. For example, like this, we already taken into account audit plan as well. And during the audit, of course, for the circular 13 also require that we need to audit the entity level of control of the bank. So entity level control here, it means that we one of the subject of audit is the BOD and CEO function, whether they act at their function and their duties or not. And of course, when we audit of this one, they need to cooperate with us to provide the information and of course, after the finish the audit report, we need to send the report to the BOS, BOD, and also CEO. When we have recommendation need to be remediated, so they need to cooperate with them with us about this one, because they need to make the direction and also to the other related unit to in order to improve the weakness from our recommendation. And of course, they have BOD and BOM also have some of the regular meeting, and BOS also, and internal audit, it's invited at like the guests to attend the meetings. For example, like quarterly meeting of the BOD, which we will attend this one, and also some of the council and committees that under the BOD and BOM. They also invite the BOS and AI to attend for the meetings, and other. I mean, the corporation, it does not. This is the name of some of the activity, but we also get a lot of support from BOD and BOM to perform the duty that the shareholder and also the BOS assigned to us. You also asked about some of the inspection report from the SBV and other inspectors. So actually, this one is the contact point. You should, for the detail, you should discuss with legal and
We
compliance.
would have a separate section with legal in terms of detailed information about inspection.
But
We can give very brief information about the function.
So of course, for internal audit and BOS function, we need to get the information from the inspector, because we need to know the information and what the recommendation from inspector, and this is shared from the BOD and BOM for sharing with us for the information, and based on the information of the inspector, so we it's one of the input information for us to perform the risk assessment to form the annual audit plan. And of course, if they have some recommendation for the internal audit, we will remediate and send the result of remediation to the inspector through the legal and compliance, because legal and compliance is the contact point of the bank for this one. And I just said that for the recent inspector's result, don't have any specific recommendation to the BOS and internal audit. They just give some of general recommendation. For example, like they need to enhance the human resource and provide the training to the internal auditors, something like this. And they also give some of the recommendation to increase the frequency of the audit of some units only. So that's all.
What are your own key findings, in recent audits? What are the key improvement areas that you have identified?
Okay, yeah. So I will give you the overall information here. It's that based on the audit results. So at the 31st of October, we have total of the 27 recommendation for the system improvement. It means that system finding a system method. It means that the systematic method. It means that the internal audit finding for the BOM to improve their process. For example, enhance the control, enhance the process, or need to revise some of the process and procedure. So this is the systematic finding. So around currently we have 27 to follow up, and for the compliance finding is mean that because we audit the brands, we select a sample to reviews, and we noted some of the document or some of the procedure or some of the process of the brands is not comply with the internal procedure or internal process. So this is a compliance issue. So we have a total of 191 compliance issues that currently following up. And in total, we have only 4 high risk matter. It's still matter it's overdue, and other it within the timeline. And the 4 matter of the overdue, it mainly on the enhancements of the process, because they need to get some comment from other division and also other, in order to make sure that process it in line with the practice and legal requirements. So they need more time. Yeah. And some is that we recommend that they need to make some of the clients that we need to, they have some of the strengthen the control in order to make sure that the client the better quality, but they still need time to enhance this one. So that's only 4 matters. So I share some of the key recommendations, because like you know that we have a 35 audit subjects. So for each subject, we will have a audit report and very detailed for the auditees. But now I just summarize some of the key recommendations in overall for your information only. For example, like for credit quality, we because you know that VP Bank have a very rapid increments about credit portfolio. So one of the overall recommendation is that for the related unit, for example, like the business unit or risk management and other, need to cooperate and to find out some of the some of the solution to enhance the control over the credit portfolio qualities, because you know that some of the process in the credit appraiser or following up after the credit lending, so need to enhance and make sure that all the unit to comply with the internal audit internal policy, because some of the units when we audit, we noted that the staff is not follow the internal audit. So the risk management and also compliance division and also the management of the unit need to strengthen their control over this one. Yeah. And the second one is that to enhance credit management, to make sure that to make sure that they control on the limit, because now we also noted that the portfolio to credit portfolio it also increase the credit given to the real estate one, and this is a concentration risk. So we also recommend that they need to follow very strictly the limit, not because for the SPV they don't have any specific limit for the real estate credits, but like the IFC and like Moody, they assess and rating the bank. They also look at this so some of the ratio of the credit to real estate. So we recommend that they need to closely monitoring of this one.
Thực ra cái chỗ này phải bổ sung thêm, nó không phải chỉ là hạn mức. Tức là hạn mức thì mình có theo dõi, có cơ chế theo dõi, rồi chỗ này chắc nhờ bạn dịch luôn. Tức là hạn mức thì mình có cơ chế theo dõi rất là rõ ràng rồi, chứ không phải rằng là cái việc chờ được mình cảnh báo. Thế nhưng mà ở chỗ này cái nhóm khách hàng mà tức là cái độ tập trung của khách hàng ấy, cái rủi ro tập trung ấy, thì muốn cảnh báo thêm, tức là muốn cảnh báo và ban điều hành phải xem xét quản lý thêm cái việc rằng là các cái mối quan hệ, các cái rủi ro mà do các cái đối tác nằm trong một nhóm khác, một cái nó không hẳn là related mà nó là có mối liên hệ liên quan. Nó không được định nghĩa là related của pháp luật nhưng nó có mối liên hệ liên quan, thì phải đánh giá được đầy đủ rủi ro của cái nhóm đối tượng đó. Đấy.
Mối liên hệ liên quan đây ví dụ như chung tài sản bảo đảm này, chung dự án này.
IFC.
Đấy,
Đấy, nhưng nó sẽ không phải là cái mối liên quan như theo IFC hay là
định
SBB.
nghĩa, tức là SBB
Nhưng
họ định nghĩa
mà
rất
có
nhiều tiêu
thể nó
chí,
là
nhưng mà mình ngoài cái việc tiêu chí đó ra thì nếu như họ có những cái mối liên hệ liên quan nữa thì mình cũng phải đánh giá các cái rủi ro liên quan của các cái đối
để
tượng
tăng cường
đó.
kiểm soát.
Đấy, chứ còn cái việc mà theo dõi hạn mức thì mình có công cụ và theo dõi liên tục rồi và có báo cáo thường xuyên, cho nên là nó cái chuyện đấy nếu mà kiểm toán thì cũng đánh giá rằng là cái rủi ro đấy ở VPBank cũng không phải là rủi ro cao.
MC.
Ms. Huyền would like to elaborate. So we're not talking about the mechanism to monitor the limit, but it's more than that to monitor the concentration risk. The IA and BOS has made other recommendations to the BOM to consider other risks related to a group of certain partners. So actually the definition of related parties is a little bit different than the definitions provided by the SBV or other organizations, for example, the IFC, because for the related parties that we want to monitor the related risk here, they may have the same group of collateral or they may work in the same projects. Therefore, the IA and the BOS had made several recommendations for the BOM to make relevant evaluations of those risks about the related parties.
About the party, we have related
Parties
relationship
have
and not related
relationship.
party like the
Right.
SBB definition. Yeah, and also other is that like because of the recently you know that the micro economic and also the market that the real estate it also have some of the project delayed because of the not that because of the bank or the customer, but also because of the legal framework and some requirements. So it also delays some of the projects. So we also recommend that they need closely monitoring of this one, especially legal status of the project.
Have you also made recommendations on the structuring of these loans?
You mean restructuring? It means that the portfolio?
No, I mean the general structuring.
Yeah.
Like maybe in this case you mentioned that there have been some legal issues and some delays, right? So maybe some structural changes, like we should maybe finance projects where already the required permits have been obtained, right? For example.
And that's the recommendation for the future only, but for the current, we just recommend for the closely monitor this, and we need to make sure that if in case the decree of the sort of the repayment, so the bank need to discuss with customer to find another one. Another source of repayment and other to minimize the risks of the bank. Vâng, chị thêm.
Can I ask why?
Chị có thêm gì?
Why haven't you made specific recommendations to the structuring yet? Yes, you said maybe in the future, but now we recommend to monitor, right?
Yeah.
So why have you not? Why have you decided not to give clear instructions on? Okay, we want the structuring to be, this and this and this, and we don't do that anymore. For example.
Actually, this one BOM already assessed with whether structuring it efficiency or not. So already have this one. So the current status is after the assessment, and we assess that it's relevant. So the reason why it need to enhance the closely monitoring rather than restructuring, because restructure it means that you need to find another source of income or sort of repayment to restructure the loan.
But I'm not saying restructuring. I'm saying recommendations on the structuring of the loans. Restructuring.
Okay, structuring. Yes.
Right, you can tighten the structures.
Yes, right. Thế em hiểu nhầm đến restructuring. Chị có thêm câu gì không?
Tức là nếu khi phải cơ cấu, khi phải cơ cấu ấy.
Không, tức là anh bảo là tức là xem lại cấu trúc của khoản vay, chứ không phải là cơ cấu. Em lúc đầu em cũng hiểu nhầm cái cơ cấu, tức là cấu trúc khoản vay là thay vì là kiểu gọi là tập trung vào cái chỗ bất động sản thì thì có thể sang cái chỗ lĩnh vực khác đúng không? Chị đã hiểu như thế đúng không? Cấu trúc của anh là như thế hay cấu trúc của anh là
chắc là phải hỏi thêm rõ thêm cái phần đấy.
So you
Clarify your question.
structuring it, what you mean structuring?
So maybe structuring.
You give some
right?
example.
So we're saying that there have been some delays, some issues with legal, like obtaining permits, I suppose, right? So the question is, why has Audit not yet recommended changes to the structures, right, or tightening of the underwriting, right? If I understand correctly, this has not been recommended yet, but the team recommends to monitor closely. So I'm saying, why don't we take that one step further? I mean, maybe we recommend tightening of these structures in some ways, right?
Là cái ví dụ như cái bất động sản mà đã có những cái vấn đề trước đây pháp lý chẳng hạn, liên quan đến vấn đề pháp lý, thì mình đã có những cái khuyến nghị về cái việc là mình thay đổi cái cấu trúc của những cái khoản vay đấy để mình address những cái rủi ro liên quan đến những cái phần delay của pháp lý hay không. Bởi vì anh hiểu là mình đang chỉ khuyến nghị là monitor quản lý.
Nhưng vấn
Quản
đề là
lý.
thay đổi
Thay
cấu
đổi
trúc,
kiểu
ý là
cấu trúc
mình
là
đang
gì?
đặt ra thay đổi cấu trúc là như thế
Là
nào?
nó chặt chẽ hơn ấy, để
ví
cho
dụ
người
Đưa vào credit policy.
tức là các cái điều kiện ấy
điều
hả?
kiện
Điều kiện
ví dụ điều kiện tín dụng chẳng hạn, là thay đổi cấu trúc.
Mình làm
Ok.
cái đấy thì tất nhiên là đối với tất cả các sản phẩm cũng như là đối với tất cả các loại hình vay rồi. Nếu mà mình thấy rằng là cái
Chính sách.
từ cái chính sách hoặc từ cái thực tiễn ấy, mà nó có những cái vấn đề xảy ra ấy, thì mình đều có kiến nghị hoặc là đều có những cái khuyến nghị để đánh giá lại để ban điều hành. Tức là nếu mình chưa thấy rằng là cái nguyên nhân đấy nó là 100% trực diện nhé, thì mình sẽ có khuyến nghị để ban điều hành phải theo dõi tiếp và đánh giá lại. Còn nếu mà mình đã thấy cái nguyên nhân đấy là trực diện thì mình sẽ kiến nghị luôn rằng là mình phải có những cái thắt chặt hơn, cái siết chặt hơn trong cái điều kiện vay.
Thì anh ấy hỏi là đã có cái khuyến nghị như vậy chưa? Bởi vì là thực tế là mình đã có những cái vấn đề liên quan đến bị trì hoãn liên quan đến pháp lý ấy. Vấn đề pháp lý mà nó gây nên cái dự án đấy nó trở thành là bị trì hoãn rồi là trở thành nợ xấu chẳng hạn. Thì anh ấy hỏi là mình đã có cái khuyến nghị nào để bên cung cấp tín dụng họ thắt chặt.
Cũng có rồi đấy. Ví dụ như là giai đoạn gần đây thì ví dụ cho vay khách hàng cá nhân ấy, thì mình cũng đã có trao đổi và bên ban điều hành cũng đã có cái quyết định rằng là ví dụ cho vay khách hàng cá nhân để mua nhà thì là mình phải có, tức là hợp đồng mua bán nhà rồi, chứ không vào cái giai đoạn trước nữa của dự án thì mới cho vay.
Thế còn corporate bên khối doanh nghiệp thì sao?
Khối doanh nghiệp thì cái việc tài trợ một dự án nhé, nó kéo dài theo khoảng một thời gian của dự án và nó rất là đặc thù, phải nói thẳng ra là như thế, nó rất là đặc thù, bởi vì là mình cũng phải theo doanh nghiệp từ những cái lúc ban đầu thì họ cũng mới dành cái tức là họ cũng có dành cái mối quan hệ đó cho mình đối với cả một cái giai đoạn sau này của dự án mà, đúng không? Cho nên mình sẽ đánh giá từng giai đoạn một thì mình sẽ cấp được cái theo cái hình thức tín dụng nào đấy.
Còn cái việc mà như anh bảo là
còn
liệu
mình
quay lại...
có đề nghị xem xét cái việc rằng là các điều kiện chặt hơn, đấy là những cái điều kiện về mặt ví dụ như là tài chính hoặc là những điều kiện về mặt kiểm soát đấy, thì mình có xem xét những cái vấn đề đó.
So they said that when they assess that the issue is directly due to the structure of the loan, they recommend to change the structure or adding conditions to tighten the credit. For example, in the case of retail loan mortgage, for example, they made recommendation that the bank will not enter in the credit until be at the early stage, but only after the
signing the
sale agreement or the issue. But for corporate lending, example, because it very depends on the relationship with the company itself. So normally the bank will need to establish the relationship from the early stage, and then they will assess on later stage to increase the limit level or add condition. That's case to case basis.
Actually, because it's case by case basis, so the reason why if we recommend to change the policy and procedure, maybe it not apply for the whole portfolio, because the corporate it's case by case basis.
Okay.
So this one's for the credit activity, and the next one is also some of the point that we want to say about the collection and the the collection is one of the key that to of the bank to minimize the risk of the customer default. So we also assess this collection strategy and collection plan, and we also have some recommendation for the management to have the comprehensive collection plan, because we noted some of the portfolio they not included in the collection plan. So we also recommend they need to have a comprehensive plan, and we not very, because if we have comprehensive plan, we will be active on the collection plan as well, and if not, so very not very win-win impact to the efficiency of the collection. Yeah, and they already added the control to make sure that when they make the plan, all the item, and I mean all the portfolio, it's there.
Anh nói về cái chứng từ điện tử thì tốt hơn.
Some other it's for enhance the control and other for the other activity, but I want to say one of the new things that we noted from the internal audit that and now BOM also have planned to overcome this is that the electronic documents. Because you know that now the digitalizing of the product and service, so the electronic document is also the key point of the requirement of the law and regulation, and to understand how and what and electronic document it is not easy, because when you enter some of transaction and authorize the transaction into the system, so what are the documents and what are the documents required by law to keep and store it. So it's not very easy, because some people think that okay, we key in the system already, so it's there, so it means that we have already have the document, but it's not easy like this, because under regulation they require that the electronic document need to meet some of the requirement and some of the information. For example, that they need to print it out, and when you print it out the document, so in the document will appear a lot the key information, for example the transaction, authorization, who prepare, who approve. So this need this requirement and need to store it, and the storage, it means that need to control that the storage, it no one to access it, to change the information, to delete it, and to stolen it, something like this. So we also recommend that the BOM need to set up the centralized control over the electronic documents, and to embed the requirement of the electronic document into the products, and also some of the process to make sure that the unit, when they carry out or to develop the system, or develop the digitalize the process, they need to consider the requirement to make sure that system it meets the requirement of electronic documents. So that's something.
It's more like information security or protection, right?
Yes, something like that. But it more on not just only security, but also the requirement by law to maintain the contents and also storage of the electronic documents. And now the BOM already have a project to do this. Yeah, so and other as well, but I think it's some of the key points.
Any findings on cyber or digital?
Yes, cyber security. Actually, we have some of the recommendation to enhance the control, because in the bank we have a lot of system, and some of the system it managed by the IT, and some it managed by the business unit. And we also noted that if managed by IT, they have a lot of regulation and procedure to manage this one. But if managed outside the IT, maybe they not really follow strictly the IT requirements. So we recommended that need to centralize to the IT in order to make sure that the other system it also manage the same standards. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe the last question, can you share the most critical recommendations or findings or recommendation by your external auditor in the 2024 review period?
24. Okay, yeah. So actually the recommendation from, the management letter from the independent for the comprehensive, and you can ask from the finance, but I can say some of the thing, but it's not really critical matter. It's just some of the enhancement for to manage some of the more on the accounting record, which so for example, like some of the long outstanding other receivable are not hit assess the recovery of this one. So they recommend that we need to assess the recovery of the other receivable to provide adequate provision.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that how big is the volume?
Actually, this is recommendation, but it's not immaterial, so they not do the adjustment. They unadjusted different, but they have give the recommendation. But it's also explainable because under the accounting, they require that if when you write off or you write off this or something like that, you need to have and provide the provision. You need to make sure that you have agreement with the other and some requirement like this, and the finance not yet get the agreement. So the reason why they not provide this one, but independent auditor based on the prudent concept, so they recommend this one. It's not material, but so
it's not really critical, right?
Critical for. So I think it's not really critical in terms of material, but it maybe change some of the monitoring over the recovery of the receivable, other receivable, because we more focus on the receivable from like the loan and some other, but other maybe we not focus on this.
That is the only recommendation.
And others that strengthen of some of the classification only, but they not give the recommendation. They just give the unadjusted difference, like classification of some of the balance sheet item, and some of the recognition of some of the expense that already incurred, but not it accrue or so, but it immaterial. Yeah, and some like Miss Huyền also give some other, because you say give on critical one, but other also related to some recommendation to assess the reassess the collateral, because collateral because not it's also impact to the provision recalculation.
Kịp thời chứ không phải là đánh giá lại, tức là mình làm công tác đấy rồi nhưng nó chưa kịp thời.
It means the timely revaluation of the collateral.
Timely manner.
Yeah, timely manner. Yeah, because they also in the internal policy 6 months for something like this, but they not.
Yeah.
So some cases that the revaluation is not done timely according to the policy.
But it also based on the sample of the internal independent auditor, it's not material. But they also recommend us to.
I have one question that in June we noticed that SVB conclusion on the inspection SVB on the bank. So and the deadline for implementation is by October.
Yeah,
So can you
31st,
update
31st.
with us the progress of from SDG?
So as far as I updated from legal because they update us quarterly basics.
Yes.
So the last quarter is almost almost the recommendation already done. There are only some that we still need to update on the 31st, 30 of October or 31st. 31st of October. I'm not yet updated this, but they have planned that we'll get. Actually, they already submit the remediation plan and also document to the inspector, but they not get the feedback. So actually, I'm not yet get the feedback from the.
We can have a follow-up discussion
With the legal.
So I don't know whether the inspector approved that already closed or not, but we already submit.
In the section,
Yeah.
we can give you some news update on this.
The most updated. Yeah.
But of course, they share with us the document that they send to SBV, but we not yet get the approval from SBV that they are closed or not, or require more information.
So I think we overrun by 9 minutes. We can move on to the next session.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Vâng, khổ lắm, nói tiếng Anh bất hết.
corporate risk.
Miss Nya is our head of corporate as well as bank wine credit. So both of the ladies have been with us with the bank for a long time. So perhaps you've met them already, or some of you have. So I'm the only new person, but yeah, most of my direct reports have been with for a while.
Okay, so I think we can start.
Sure. You don't need any quick introduction from me, do you, about me?
You should, Andre, you should.
Yeah. So,
Please,
We are not seeing any.
just hold on. We have some people from online. Just want to make sure that they can hear.
orange, by the way, is the color of change or transformation in Asia. A very good choice. And work all over the world, more than 10 countries. In Asia, Australia, Middle East, London, and multiple other places. Some exciting places, even like the Pacific, Papua New Guinea, and even Maldives. Right. So, and I spent about half of my career in Asia. I worked for Standard Chartered in Singapore. I worked for Wells Fargo recently in out of Hong Kong as a regional chief risk officer. So Asia has been home for many years, but I've never been based in Vietnam. Although in my regional roles, I covered most of Southeast Asia and North Asia, including in some cases Vietnam. So my background is a little bit unusual. Before I became a politician, I was a statistician. So my degree is in mathematics. I started career in risk and modeling. I don't come from purely credit background, as many CROs do. I actually come from a technical side of risk. And fairly holistic. I worked across anything from credit and scoring, market risk to anti-money laundering. Been a CRO for 15 years in different companies. And of course, I covered retail, wholesale, corporate banking markets. So reasonably holistic in that sense. So after Hong Kong, there was time to do something new, young, and dynamic, and change an automatic car to a manual, and be a driving enthusiast, and see the end result of one's actions and actions of the team, reflect very clearly in the portfolio and also in people. So this is, in that sense, a much more exciting role in every sense, young and dynamic, developing country. So that's me in a nutshell. I'm certainly happy to answer questions. So there you go, my end of my first year. And of course, IFC's, even though we have met, is one of our key stakeholders. I was well aware of that